Baby, I know they say it's the own network and they supposed to be classy and wholesome over there, but like I said before, Love and Marriage Huntsville is slowly becoming Love and Hip Hop Alabama. Catch these teams. Cha-cha! When I was too busy cha-cha-chaing around Miami this weekend, I didn't get to see Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I just watched that bad boy about 5 minutes ago, and baby, they got it going on. The show is, oh, somebody called me, yes girl, they got it going on too. They got it going on, and the show is slowly creeping up my favorites ladder to be in the #1 position. This show is very interesting, and not that the drama is new or different than anything we've ever seen on any other show. I just like the fact that we're learning about new people versus basketball. While y'all keep asking me why I haven't spoke on the Basketball Wives drama, let me give y'all the honest truth real quick. To be honest with you, I don't know what's going on. I was caught up one night and I couldn't watch an episode. And so then when the next week rolled around, it was like, fuck, now I'm 2 episodes behind. Now I think I'm like 3 or 4 episodes behind. And to be honest with you, I just really don't care. Like, I don't. Everybody's like, you know, evidence said, somebody, OG, it's like, I'm so tired of these. Give me that. No. I had some cookies. This bitch gonna jump on the sofa and try to get the napkin with the crumbs in. Excuse me, y'all. Always wait till I get good on the damn phone and want to start acting up. Get in your bed. I'm just over it. So it feels good to be learning about a new set of people and the intricacies of their relationships and how their minds work and how they live and so on and so forth. So y'all can stop, you know, tweeting and texting me and bothering me about them damn Basketball Wives. If I find it in me to watch the shit, I will. If not, catch me on the reunion. At any rate, the episode opens up with Melody going down to her hairdresser to curl her dirty hair. They kill me on these reality TV shows when these people walk into the hairdresser. We don't never see the hairdresser wash, rinse, or dry no damn hair. They sit in the chair with already done hair and they just be running a comb through it talking. She was in there clipping and curling dirty hair, okay? Nevertheless, she said she filed for a divorce. You know, I kind of liked reality TV before social media was as large as it was. And then there was a point when social media really started to emerge. I think that maybe contractually or just out of courtesy, the cast would keep certain details private or whatever because they were incongruent with the show, or it would give away, you know, the cliffhanger to the show. It's kind of hard for me right now watching a premiere episode of a show and Melody's talking about, you know, I'm getting a divorce, and the expectation is that we're supposed to follow her down this, you know, am I not going to journey throughout this show. And then we look on Instagram and we are able to see that she's getting ready to have a baby. Like, it's just hard for me after that to follow along, because I'm like, girl, we know how regardless of what's going on, we know how your storyline ends already. So it's kind of like, move, get out the way, and let me talk to somebody else that I can find some new information about. But, okay, girl, I guess we got to sit here with you and Alana and play along like you might get a divorce, but get pregnant, I guess. Maurice and Kimmy, you know, I really love, full disclosure, Kimmy is my favorite. Kimmy is my favorite, and they are my favorite couple. And I've said this before. I say this on all the reality shows I review. I find myself connecting with the characters that I feel are the most rational, logical, sensible, reasonable, any other anonym you can find. She's very reasonable And I like that because I feel like that is what the world is missing. Like if everybody, I hate the fact that like when I go places, people be like, "Ooh, you know, I love you. You keep it real," or we pin keeping it real on people as a badge of honor. And when people say that to me, "Oh, you know, oh, I just love how you keep it real," it really perplexes me because is it really a skill to basically say what you see? You know what I'm saying? It's like keeping it real should not be something that's honorable. It should be the standard. You know what I'm saying? But I guess in today's world, maybe it's socialized and indoctrinated out of us and we're taught all these simple pleasantries. And I don't know. The shit's confusing to me, but I just really like Kimmy. I like that her, now, what I don't get, and I've never been through a divorce, but I do know for a fact in my heart of hearts that I am, as a person, mature enough to co-parent with somebody despite how the relationship may have dissipated. And I know that for a fact because I know how I was brought up, and it made me somebody who really values protecting the children by all means. I don't know the ins and outs of Maurice and that lady's marriage, but I could already tell by her attitude, you know, the whole, if you're going to talk to him, then you're going to talk to both of us at the same time, you know, impeding, putting yourself in the middle of a dad and a son talking to one another. You know, you want to talk to all three of us. I'm like, first of all, the child's not 4, they 12. Bitch, get out the way. Get your motherfucking ass out the way. My son is old enough for me to have a one-to-one direct line of communication with him, and then I'll do a high-level overview with you. When my daddy called my house growing up, it was like, let me talk to Quentin. Put Quentin on the phone. I talked to him. When he finished with me, all right, put your mama back. Put your mama on the phone. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes that a parent, and whether it be a mother to a daughter or a daddy to a son, there's just a level of communication that they need to have with one another that you don't need to be in the middle of. But you still bitter and mad for whatever reason. And I'm not saying how y'all broke up doesn't warrant you being bitter and mad. But you making it difficult for him to communicate with his child or for him to co-parent with you, that's unacceptable. Now, what I do like about Kimmy in this situation, a lot of women would have jumped on the whole your ex-wife is a bitch train. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that Kimmy, A, stays the hell out of it and stays neutral, but B, she's like, as a mom, I get it. I get it. And by not gassing Maurice up and laying out how a woman feels, it now gives him a heightened sensitivity on how to deal with that situation, because he may be coming in, you know, a little too strong for her comfort level, and he may need to make her feel slightly more comfortable about the loss that she's getting ready to experience. And I think, you know, and see how I just said it, the loss that she's getting ready to experience. Yeah, the boy is going to live with his dad, but it is still a loss to her in some capacity. You taking my baby from me. And I think any sensible person can get that. So shouts out to Kimmy for, you know, A, for just being a woman first, before being a blindly ride or die, stereotypical fuck your ex-wife type. You got a good one, Maurice. Martell moves upstairs. You know, Martell moves upstairs, and his friend Nelvin comes over, and Martell talks about, you know, how the girl called him on his phone, and Nelvin says, well, how did she call? Did you change your number? And Martell was like, no. And he said, did Melody ask you to? It's like, yeah, you know, it's those things right there let me back up. In this video, I actually want to be very careful with my words, because I really do feel bad for Melody. I do, you know, and as easy as it would be for me right now to go down a child, you so stupid train, like that's just not even what I'm on today as this beautiful sun sets. I'm really on some I feel bad for her, because regardless of the fact, nobody deserves the type of treatment and disregard that this man is giving her. If you have got caught cheating on just one occasion, but hell, potentially several, and I ask you to change your phone number, it would seem to me that if you were truly serious about keeping your household intact, your ass would have been the first one standing outside of AT&T the next morning making it happen. It would seem to me that you would go out of your way to put mechanisms in place to make me feel secure. And I said this last season, all that late night going to the gym, you know what I'm saying? And then making excuses for why you're continuing to make me uncomfortable. And the reality of the situation is, because he's not worried about your comfortability, he is worried about just keeping you hooked, lined, baited, however, he's worried about keeping you satisfied just enough to not leave while maintaining his freedom and ability to do what it is he wants to do. And see, here's the funny thing. Like Nikki Giovanni said in the middle of in that conversation with James Baldwin, respect me enough to lie to me. And I know that sounds stupid and it's an oxymoron. Respect me enough to lie to me. Change your fucking phone number. Then just get a bitch the new number. You know what I'm saying? But at least you put up the vanity face of, I'm trying to make this marriage work. You know what I'm saying? At least you put up the front. It's like, damn, respect me enough to at least try and oblige me. He doesn't even try. I don't like going around throwing out the word narcissist because I think it's used so freely these days that people don't grasp the true brevity of that personality disorder when you throw that title among someone. But Martell truly demonstrates sociopathic and narcissistic behaviors, especially the non-remorse, the lack of empathy, and the constant lying. That's just problematic for me. That's problematic for me. And the only area where I'm going to give Melanie the business at today is because when y'all went to the iPush party, you know, you made this and you were in the car, you were mad with him, and then you were like, you know, me and Martell, we always put on the game face and do what we got to do, and then when I get back in the car, I'm going to go back to being mad with him. That's the problem right there. And I have learned in my adult years to not cheat myself out of any emotion. I have learned when people say, how you doing? You know, the auto response is fine. How you doing? Oh, I'm not doing too well today. How you doing? I don't know if I'm coming or going. How you been? I haven't been good these last couple of days. I've learned to stop. Don't cheat yourself with no emotion. And Mel, I think part of your frustration, and it's undue frustration, but part of your frustration and part of your pain is the fact that you have placed this self-imposed requirement on yourself to keep up this game face in public. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't. You created this prison that you were in, and all the while the door is unlocked. You don't have to keep up this game face. Bitch, we ain't doing good right now. bitch, my marriage on the rocks. And while the specifics ain't nobody's business, I think people would actually appreciate you more at Mimosas and Melody if you were giving women the information that they really need, which is not go out in public and put on your game face. No, let people know what the fuck going on with you so you can get the healing that you need, and maybe so I can help you. You know what I'm saying? Let people know what's going on. So I don't feel bad for you in that sense, coupled with the fact that it just seems to me that it means status means more to you than happiness, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell anybody what they should prioritize in their life? But you seem to be more concerned with status than happiness, and if that is the case, then this is the cost. You know what I'm saying? It is the cost of doing business, because you can't have it both ways. And I want to segue off of this with one of my favorite quotes. And I promise you, this is a quote I live by. Walt Disney's brother once said, "There is no such thing as a hard decision if you know where your values lie." Getting a divorce for Martell is not an option for Melody, because her values lie in status. That is what she wants. So that's the decision that she made, to do whatever to keep social status. And that doesn't make her a bad person. But what you need to stop doing, since you made that choice, since you chose status over happiness, you need to suck up everything else. That's just some real grown folks advice. That's the choice that you made. Because he's not going to change. A leopard don't change its spots. Zebra don't change its stripes. You know, when Martell was talking to Neville, he spoke about his side piece putting him on a pedestal, you know, which speaks to that whole women want to be wanted. Women want to feel wanted, men want to feel needed. But I've never really agreed with that, and here is why. The question that I have for the Martells of the world is, why is it that I must play weak in order for you to feel strong? And that's one thing that I did not understand about certain guys and their fragile masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Why is it, if by nature masculine means domineering and in control and powerful, then you should be able to maintain that feeling and that sense of purpose completely independent of anything that I've got going on. If you are truly masculine and the king of the jungle, why is it that I must make you feel needed, even if it means me playing needy and downplaying myself in order to make you feel strong? You being strong should be independent of me being weak. It should, and I think that's part. Obviously, Martell's personality type requires that. And I think that in therapy, that's where the work needs to be focused on. I think if you clear that part up, and if you also change your outlook on things. See, I think part of Martell's issue is that he does have some voids and some deficiencies. And then I think the other part of it is just socialization and honestly believing that it is all right for a man to have a wife and a side piece just as long as the wife don't know. And I've said this to y'all before on several videos. There are a lot of men who just subscribe to that. And it's nothing about upbringing or trauma or whatever the case may be. It's just sheer male socialization. You know what I'm saying? So at the very end of the day, he's going to have to pivot his outlook on that and say, you know what, once upon a time I did believe in that, but as an older man, I've come to realize that I was taught wrong. You know what I'm saying? Marsau's friend at the gym. I wanted to say, Carlos, you need to hire some better actors. I mean, because that really feels like that man was force-fed, all of that. I mean, if not, I know gossiping ain't unique to women, but I ain't never heard no man walk up to no other man and just spill all the fucking beans and the tea like that. Like, he had to be force-fed those lines. Anyway, it got us to our next scene. Thank you. We needed a transition. It's the reason why Marsau ends up at Martell's house. And we get over there, and I'm going to tell you something. Martell, you are a real bitch. Like, you just are. Like, what you did just wasn't cool. Because in essence, you threw a temper tantrum, and you was like, fuck it, I'm fucked up, so your shit finna be fucked up too. While I agree it may not feel good that Marsau and them may be laughing or making light of the situation, number one, nigga, the situation did not happen accidentally. This is a situation that you caused, and you could have put it into, but you chose to further perpetuate. So even with them laughing and making fun of you, despite the fact that they may or may not be doing the same things, you should have just took that one on the chin. You should have just took it. You should have just took it, or you should have just told them, hey man, can y'all stop that shit? But to get on TV, regardless of the fact that you said it just to him, but with cameras rolling, you knew what you were doing. That was a nice, nasty way of causing confusion in that man's marriage. Because look, I don't give a damn who you are and how secure you are in your marriage. One or two people start coming to you telling you, oh, your man doing this or your man do that or your girl doing this, girl doing that. I'm sorry. If you human, it's going to plant a seed. It's going to plant a seed. And that's what you did. You fired warning shots. You know what I'm saying? And now, as a result of that, now all season, Marsau has got to deal with defending this and it being exacerbated. And now, if he does have any girls, they finna start coming out the woodwork. This was all the shit that you stirred up, and you did it intentionally. And I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to y'all in the past, what was done, but if I was Marsau at this point, honestly, I would cut all ties with you. Like that just was not cool. Your shit fucked up, and so you want everybody else to be fucked up with you, and nobody is kicking you while you down. I mean, yeah, we cracking a joke here, cracking a joke there, but if it don't feel good, then stop doing the shit. You the one you are the one putting the bullets in the gun for people to shoot you with. You know what I'm saying? Even down to the having two phones. You know what I'm saying? You did this. So how you gonna do this shit and get mad that other people are like laughing? And they're not laughing at you per se, they're laughing just at the ridiculousness of it all, because the shit is ridiculous. The fact that you're not jumping through hoops to try to save your damn marriage, you're still doing stupid shit like two phones, having a bitch call you, going to the gym late at night. Yeah, that don't look like somebody that's making an effort to keep their marriage together. As a matter of fact, you accused him of making light of your situation, but it feels more like you're making light of your marriage because you just don't give two shit to put in the effort required to change the narrative about you and your marriage. Get it together, bro. And it's funny because I was sitting here, I got some more emails, as a matter of fact, of various different things. So it's bringing to a great point. And I was finna say, even in revealing the mistress and so on and so forth, when I was watching this episode, I made a conscious decision, this video, to not make it all about exposing tea, because that taps back at a part of what I do that I don't always like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like being the source of somebody else's pain. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they put it out there, I'll talk about it. I don't necessarily like being the source of somebody's pain. And so I'm not going to sit here and just beat this Martell, Arian Curry, Melody Love triangle thing. I'm not going to beat this into the ground all season. I will say this though. I did get an email. Now the email, it wasn't, the address, the name came up as Arian Curry, and it said, let's talk, send me your number. And I responded, at this time, I don't necessarily feel comfortable sending you my number for security and privacy reasons. However, give me your number and a time you would like to speak, and I'll give you a call. And the person didn't respond. You know, Arian, if you're watching this, or any of people who know her, you know, I don't want that to be perceived as me being scared or being nasty or trying to be cynical, or whatever the case may be. But I got one sentence from an email address. Quite frankly, anybody out there could have created an email address, emailed me. I respond with my phone number, and then now my phone number is all over Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, whatever the case may be, and I was trying to prevent that. At the point in which I would have gotten on the phone and spoke with you and realized that it was you, then I would have no problem giving you my direct phone number. But for me, just a one-sentence email was not convincing enough for me to make my phone number public. So I just want to put that out there in case you are watching. And if you are still interested in talking, I'd be down to talk. A publicist reached out to me, because remember the last episode I was like, Arian, you know, the whole Olivia Pope situation. So a publicist had reached out to me and was asking me for Arian's information, and I was sharing with her that I don't have it, that the emails that I've been receiving has been from other people close to the situation. And so the woman later emailed me and said, never mind, I got in contact with Miss Curry. And so I said, well, what did Miss Curry say? And her response was, well, due to client privilege, I can't say. So that suggests that maybe this woman has formed some sort of PR relationship with Miss Curry. But then the fact that I got this email, if it is from the real Miss Curry, and she emailed me, it's not leaving me confused. But baby, I'm not finna waste my time trying to figure it out. If you want to talk, let's talk. If not, it's not. That being said, y'all, Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'm really liking it. I'm really interested. You know, I hope Latisha and Marsau don't get swept up in this Melody and Martell bullshit, and it just goes to show how energy is transferable. And when people got negative shit going on, sometimes you got to keep your damn distance, because what's going on in their marriage and fuck around and jump in y'all's. Kimmy and Maurice run for the damn hills. Last but not least, the girls go to girls' night, and Maurice's sister explains to Kimmy, you know, do you see why this woman is mad? And I think Kimmy did grasp it. Latisha chimed in and was like, you know, I would get why she's mad too. Especially considering the whole, I went through all of this with him and you're reaping the benefits. Like, I don't have my head so far up my ass that I don't realize how somebody would feel that way. However, in the midst of feeling that way, you still have got to reach down and find the maturity to not allow those feelings to manifest into negative treatment and or thoughts about Kimmy, because she did not do anything to you. And I want to leave you with this. I had a coworker one time. She had 2 kids from a guy, got divorced. He remarried. And she would tell me stories about how she would go walking with his new wife or go out to eat with the new wife. And it was so odd to me, because I was always used to seeing ex-wives and current wives in adversarial positions. And I was like, are you serious? I looked at her so crazy. And when she explained it to me, it turned my frown upside down, and I realized more people should do that. And what she said to me is, you goddamn real, I befriended that bitch. She gonna be around my child all the damn time. And these women will mistreat your children to get back at the mama. And she was like, yes, I want to give this bitch every incentive to treat my children well. You know what I'm saying? And I needed to feel comfortable with the type of woman that she was being around my children. And you know what? That right there is how you get through the pain and you get through the damn co-parenting situation. You think about your child's best interest first. That is love. Now, whether you go back home and stick your face in the pillow and cry and scream and shout or drink hot sauce, I don't know what you do. But if your son, if Monster is truly getting ready to move in with Kimmy and Maurice, you want to have some open dialogue with Kimmy, and you want it to be comfortable in the lines of communication to just always be free-flowing, because there are things as a mother that you and her are better equipped to speak about and communicate to one another than you would be with Maurice. You know what I'm saying? Or when tensions get tough between you and Maurice, granted, the woman, Kimmy, may not want to do it, but she could somehow possibly serve as the mediator. So, you know, get out your feelings. Get out your feelings. Or compartmentalize them and channel that energy properly. But don't make Kimmy's life hell. And don't make communication with Maurice talking to your son hell. You know what? I'm going to say this in closing real quick. A lot of women out there, y'all need to realize, and I know that y'all get stuck with the kids. You know, mommy's baby, daddy's baby. But it's a lot of men out there that don't even deal with their kids, don't even want to come get their kids, completely abandon their kids. And when you got a man that's just like that, really wants to be active in his kid's life, like, don't stand in the way of that or make it difficult. And yes, it is unfair and it's a double standard. Dads should be stuck with moms and feel the obligation to parent equally as much as moms. But the reality of the situation is the world is unfair, and that's the way it is. And yes, dads should not necessarily be celebrated for parenting, but it sucks that there are so many men who are absentee that you do kind of have to stand up and celebrate and make it easy for the ones who are fighting to be a part of their kids' lives. At any rate, y'all, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. That's 3 videos in the day. I'm tired. I'm probably gonna go down to the bar, give me a little Hennessy, and Coke, give me a little chicken wing, a little piece of lemon pepper, double fries, hold the slaw, and I'll call y'all later. Bye.